This tutorial video will detail the removal and inspection of a Dynaflame burner and heat exchanger. You will need the following tools before performing this procedure. You will need the following parts before performing this procedure. The process starts by undoing the two Robertson screws which are located at the top rear of the appliance. Standing at the front of the unit, you will then slide the top cover towards yourself and remove it. For larger units, you may need to have two people on either side to remove the top cover. If the igniter draws less than 3 amps, the hot surface igniter must be replaced. When a Honeywell dual-seat gas valve is powered, there will be two indicator lights which will illuminate, indicating the opening of both seats. If only one light is lit, there may be an electrical connection issue. The LED indicator on a Siemens SKP55 gas valve will turn on when 115-volt AC is applied to it. To remove the hot surface igniter, first unplug the igniter from the harness. Then remove two Robertson screws holding the igniter in place, and then slide the aluminum bracket off of the wires. Carefully remove the igniter by gently pulling it vertically upwards. Do not angle or wiggle the igniter, as that will break the tip of the igniter. Close the firing valve on the gas train. Remove the fast-on connector on the flame sensor. Using a 1/2-inch wrench, loosen the flame rod and remove it by gently pulling it vertically upwards. If cleaning of the flame rod is required, use steel wool, never use sandpaper. Undo the two compression fittings for the differential pressure sensing lines on the discharge of the blower. Remember the orientation of the tubes, mark them off if necessary. On Dynaflame models 500 to 1750, you will need to remove the negative pressure feedback nylon hose on the aluminum casting for the fan suction. Before undoing the union on the gas train, be sure to support the back end of the gas train to prevent it from dropping down. Unplug the harness leading up to the blower. Using a 9/16" wrench, undo the 4 or 8 nuts which fasten the blower to the heat exchanger. The blower motor and blower housing is removed in one assembly. On larger models, you may need assistance to lift it off of the boiler. Remove the red silicone gasket, followed by removing the burner. The burner must slide out vertically. Avoid tilting the burner on an angle, as that may damage the fiber mesh. Next, remove the graphite back ceramic gasket. Inspect the burner for any deposits. If there are deposits, do not brush or pick at the burner. Instead, use a garden hose with low pressure water to rinse off the burner. Allow the burner to air dry before installing it back into the appliance. Check the tightness of the fiber mesh. If the mesh is loose, this will lead to ignition failures. and it is not advised to reinstall the burner in this state. With the burner removed, you can now inspect the condition of the copper or stainless steel water tubes. This particular heat exchanger looks clean. If there is buildup of sediment on the tube, this will need to be cleaned using a pressure washer, which will be detailed later in the video. Unplug the wiring harness so that the control box harness is detached from the boiler harness. To remove the graphite gasket on a Dynaflame, you will need to remove the combustion chamber top panel. Use the 5/16 nut driver to remove the screws around the perimeter of the top panel. Remove the top panel and set it aside. You can now remove the graphite gasket and inspect the interior of the combustion chamber and the heat exchanger. If you find that cleaning is required, remove the front combustion chamber door. Use a 5/16 nut driver to remove the screws around the perimeter of the top panel. You may need to remove the condensate cover to remove the front combustion chamber door. When cleaning the Dynaflame copper heat exchanger is required, leave all V-baffles in place and using the wand from a pressure washer clean the heat exchanger from inside out and from top to bottom. In the case of a Dynaflame stainless steel heat exchanger, remove all V-baffles and use the same method as described before. Disconnect the condensate neutralizer box if equipped before cleaning. When installing the front combustion chamber door and top panel, check the red silicone strip gaskets. If the red silicone strip gaskets are torn, they will need to be replaced. Do not replace just the torn section, you will need to remove the entire gasket. Be sure to scrape off any remains and re-gasket it, as patching the damaged section will allow combustion gases to escape. Install the graphite gasket on top of the heat exchanger and then screw and replace the combustion chamber top pan. Place the graphite-backed ceramic gasket on top of the combustion chamber top panel and insert the burner vertically into the heat exchanger. Place the red silicone gasket on top of the burner and install the blower. The blower nuts must be torqued to 20 foot-pounds in a diagonal fashion so that the load is evenly distributed. Tighten the union on the gas train. Install the flame sensor and igniter. Reinstall the negative pressure feedback nylon hose on the aluminum casting. The replacement igniter comes with two ceramic gaskets. The thin gasket is located underneath the igniter flange, and the thick gasket is placed on top. Verify that ignition is smooth and rumble-free. Using your combustion analyzer, you will need to verify that the combustion readings coincide with what is stated in the I&O manual.